Well, hello there.
Hi, everybody.
This is Tom and Heather from Shadowfields, and this is Monday.
In the studio. Please like, share, subscribe, and click on that notification bell to stay connected with us whenever we go live. Whenever we go live. What do you think of that?
Whenever.
Yeah, how'd I do? I do okay?
That was wonderful.
Excellent.
It wasn't quite as good as our song last week, was it?
No, because that was the
1 ton tomato. It was
Guantanamera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very exciting. I hope people go back if you haven't and watch that incredible episode.
Our Cuban Mexican song for
I had no
Cinco de
idea.
Mayo.
When you hear some of these things, you go, "Wow, that sounds like that would be straight from Mexico." And it's
Guantanamera, is that actually Guantanamo?
No,
it could be. Couldn't it?
Not.
Couldn't
no,
it
it's
not
not
be?
Gitmo. No,
You don't know.
it was a girl.
Well,
Juanita Guantanamera.
Yeah. If it ends in an A, it's the female.
Right.
If it ends in an O, it's the male. Amigo.
What did you?
And amiga.
What did you do? Did you learn something this week? Oh my God.
No, I know all this. I'm a linguist. I'm taking English as a second language.
All right.
Yes, a Cuban song. I'm sorry. So we have a beer and a Pepsi. What are you having tonight? Something really unusual?
Yeah, I'm having it's a double. It's a double because you added more into it, Arnold Palmer. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm.
That's so boring. Oh my gosh,
I have lemonade.
Can you not be.
I'm sticking with no alcohol before the show.
Oh, good.
Because with the show coming up, don't need to dry out my vocal cords anymore.
And did you know that? Did you know that alcohol dries up your vocal cords? I don't know. Did you guys know that? I don't know. Let me know if you knew that. What else dries up your vocal cords? Popcorn?
Antihistamines.
And popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn's a bad thing to eat before a show.
And I think iced tea. Iced tea does that for me.
Yeah, it was a diuretic.
Yeah, but it like messes up with your throat somehow.
It's a diuretic and it has caffeine, so it's going to tighten up your voice.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're on a sobriety kick right now.
Sobriety.
Did I
alcohol free.
Oh, Mike says that his bags are all packed.
All right. Excellent.
Who else is coming from far away to come see the show on Friday?
I am. I'm coming from Sycamore to see us.
Well, you're not going to work on
No,
that
I'm
day.
not going to go to work that day.
Yeah.
I work from home in the morning and then we'll head in.
I know, Tony, that is not kind. It says you sound better after a few. I hope you're talking to Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, the more you drink, the better we sound. That's always a key thing.
That's true. Yes. And is Tony really outside our door? Because
I hope not.
Yeah, that was fun though last week.
Yeah, it was. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that? The fixings. It was an orange thing. What was that orange thing we had with the tequila and orange stuff to make margaritas?
Tony,
because we didn't have 03. So what was this other stuff called, Tony?
He brought all the fixings. It was quite impressive.
It was very nice.
He had a cooler too. It was he was like, "Honey, give me the cooler. Got to go." And he's out the door. He's knock, 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 knock. What I needed to do is to say, "Oh, Tony's going to bring us pizza."
You won't eat it anyway,
I'll
though.
have little corners. I love who else likes the tiny little triangle corners of a pizza? I'm like, oh, that's mine. Oh, that's mine. They're the smallest, tiny little pieces, and that's for me.
Are you one of those people that sees a donut and I'll just cut this little corner off of this donut? And
Tom, I am. I don't think there's not even a question there.
And then you come back a little while. Oh, here's another donut. I'll cut a corner off of that one too.
Well, speaking of that, and I don't know if this is sharing a band story, but we were at a Subway.
And the band always shares things.
Well, yeah, this was a sharing story, sharing, not sharing. It was probably one of the funniest things to have happen because we all saw it happening right in front of our faces. So, we get all the sandwiches together. We're all sitting down. And
now we're on tour.
We're on tour. Yeah, it's not
and so we have to stop and we have to get some food because we're all dying and we got to eat something before we get to the show. So everybody has their own special thing that they must have.
Right. And so they all go up and they order. I pay. I bring them over. And then Jimmy grabs one and starts eating it. And then Tony has his, Tom has his, and Gary opens his and it's like, this is not mine.
This isn't mine.
Everybody had already opened one and was eating it. And then he looks over at Jimmy.
He's like quarter away through it already. And was like, I think it was mine.
Yeah, it was like, what are you doing? It's not even, this is your sandwich. This is like turkey and that's roast beef. Like, it was, and that's now the joke is about, Jimmy taste tests our food for us. But anyway, okay.
Hi, Shirley.
So, hey, Shirley. How's everybody doing? Hey, Dave. We miss Stephen Post.
Yes.
We haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah.
I hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
But we have a gig coming up. I'm sorry. We're really tired. I just got back from taking care of the twins. I had one night where I had 3 hours of sleep. So I'm kind of trying to make up my sleep right now, which is kind of it's defeating. Like you can never really make up your sleep. You somehow can try to get back on schedule again. Anyway, so we have a gig on Friday.
Yes.
So really, most of the stuff that we're doing in the studio over the last, 2 weeks has been just practice.
The last week has just been practice. That's all we have been doing because we are playing some different songs than we normally do. To kind of mix it up a little bit. And
we're bringing one from way, 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 way back. That was from the All I Wanted to Hear album.
I wonder what song that could be.
I wonder what the song is titled. Also, I was given a prompt by somebody in our open mic community. And so we're doing that song. Did you know that?
Doing which song?
Playing in the Rain.
Oh, Playing in the Rain, yes.
Was that a prompt?
Yes.
And then we have a brand new song, Never Ever Even, hasn't been recorded fully, nothing like that.
Yeah, it's probably be the best song of the whole night.
It came off really, really quick. Came together.
Let me say something. For those of you that are out of town that are watching us, and
this is true. Yeah.
It's going to be live streamed. I signed the little deal on that today, and I'll find out more information and get the link to it, and I'll post the link on the website, and we'll post it on Facebook as well.
And do we get that for future? Like, is it recorded for future?
It'll be recorded. After a certain amount of time, we can give them some money.
Yeah.
And then we can download it.
Okay.
And then we can use it for whatever purposes we have.
That's awesome. It's like a little bit like Bunker.
Yeah, it's kind of, but I'm not going to get the multi-tracks.
Yeah.
This is just a stereo mix. Mm-hmm. So this would be like, this is what it is.
That's exciting.
I'd like to come up with a way, like a little Zoom recorder or something like that. I have to see if we got one at work. Just a little pocket recorder that I can set up on a stand way up high in the audience. We can just record the whole show that way, and we can sync it up with the sound off the board.
Yeah.
And that way we can get like a better thing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I could mix those together later on and you can get, like the clinking of dishes and things like that.
Yeah.
The fun thing will be is that this is a listening room and it's not
so sweet.
It's not a bar, so there is a bar, but it is a listening room. So people will be listening to what we're doing,
it's really been, we're normally on tour. So we don't normally do like these home shows and this. So this has been kind of nice to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. This year is all about the home shows. In a few weeks, we play the Scottish Fest.
It's actually a month away.
Yeah, a month away.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be wearing a kilt this time. I wear pants. No kilt.
I love lassie, bonny lassie. Yeah, that'll be fun. And we really should create a couple other songs. Maybe we'll write one. We might even write a Scottish tune. Because Heather, it could be all about Heather and Heather on the hill and Heather.
If I mumble through it, nobody will ever knows. Because you can't understand what real Scottish people are saying anyway. That accent is so thick.
It is.
That it's like I don't know what language they're speaking.
I've learned that Emma Thompson, Emma Thompson, the actress, she is half English and half Scottish.
Is she?
Yeah, and so that's why she doesn't have a true like an Oxford English kind of what's it called? Not
accent.
Thank you. But more kind of an interesting mix, like a glottal Scottish. If you've ever wondered that, So the date of the Scottish Fest is, I believe, the 14th of 14th. It should be out on
June 14th, I believe.
Yeah, June 14th.
Let's look at a calendar here.
Saturday, June 14th, and we go on for I think 2:30.
We're 2:15. We are on
2:15. We're going to be very exact.
We're on for an hour, so we got a better slot this time.
We're going to have to sing that one song over and over and over again. I love a lassie, a bonny, bonny lassie.
We'll have some fun.
Yes,
it'll be a good time. But more so, it's this week. This week's the big thing.
Big week. Yeah.
It's half sold as of this morning.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were saying they're going to get their tickets a little later. Mm-hmm. So we're hoping to fill the room.
Yeah. And I'm going to pummel everybody with like advertising promotion this week. So
yeah. All
right. Yeah. Hey, and you guys could do the same thing. You can encourage people that you know locally to join. All right. So what have you bought this week?
Nothing.
Oh gosh, you're disappointing me.
I
mean, no plugins. No, nothing. Have you bought some Starbucks at least?
Oh wait, I did buy one plugin.
Aha.
One plugin.
Aha. I knew something.
A special widener.
A special one.
It's a widener.
What makes it so special? It's special.
It's just the brand who made it. This guy named Ray. He's in Eastern Europe somewhere. Can't remember where. And he makes plugins, and I like a lot of his stuff. And I use quite a bit of it.
Have you talked to him online?
Yeah, I've had a couple interactions with him.
I expect you to do those kind of things.
Yeah.
All right. So guess what? It's hat time. Oh my gosh. Tom's like, no. Okay. So I'm going to put my hand in here. All right. And see what comes out. Okay.
Next Monday, the hat will be just chars. Bring it in. Oh, the hat burned up.
Okay. Oh, this is an interesting one. Why do you write songs? That's fun. You got to go first on that one. I'm not. I have to think.
Well,
I have to think.
I can say more so. Songs? I can say more so. Well, I think you write songs because you have to. If you
have to?
I think so. What if you're a painter? Why do you paint? The likelihood that your paintings are going to be in these, like Art Institute or something like that is next to nil.
Yeah.
But why do you do it anyway? It's for the love of the art.
Right.
And I think writing music, you're writing for the love of the art. Many people are just happy to play music. Mm-hmm. They're just happy just to play it.
We know a couple people like that.
It doesn't matter if they wrote it or not. They just love to play music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Yeah.
It sounds odd, but I don't really. Practicing is difficult for me. I obviously I practiced a million light years as I was growing up.
Yes.
But I want to create something.
Mm-hmm.
So the creation process is the only part of it that I'm interested in. If I was just doing covers, I wouldn't bother playing music probably anymore.
Right. I think for me, it is quintessentially other people get high on many things, but I think to me it's like this great analytical high kind of thing where, you're taking this poetry that you've written, these lyrics that you've written, and then you just, you bring them into this musical structure, and it's, this arrangement, and you make it fit somehow. You make it fit, and even if I sometimes come up with the sixth to sing and sixth, note in the chord or whatever, like I just doing things different. It's how do you make it fit into that musical arrangement? And that's super fun for me. And even if we are doing things like running harmonies and that kind of stuff, there'll be times where Tom wants to plunk something out and go, no, here's, and I'm like, no, just let me do this.
Well, that's our big difference.
I love it. I love it so much.
I have the harmony and arranging theory classes that I took in high school and college.
I throw those books away. I throw them away.
So I know which few notes are going to work. So I don't go hunting. But
there have been times that my note has surprised you, and you're like, "Wow, I think that works."
Yeah. There have been those times.
Few. Over the last
no. But, anyway, that's kind of why I would want to write.
Yeah,
is just for the creation process.
Sure,
you're starting off with nothing. Maybe it's like cooking. People have all these here's all these ingredients.
Yeah,
and to turn just those raw ingredients into something special.
Yeah,
I'm not a cook. I'm pretty lousy at it.
How do you make salsa? I'm just kidding. That was one of the earlier questions if you'd been on here.
Yeah.
Hi, Allie. Thanks for joining. I think that it's kind of an interesting thing about chemistry, because there is a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and then voila, it's a song.
Yeah.
There's obviously a lot more to it, but it is taking various different pieces that have never been combined before and creating this thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think I'm compelled to do it necessarily. I just really like how my brain puts it together. And that's the fun part of it. Yeah. Same with me. I don't have to go out and perform. That's not it's not a have to. It's a nice to, but I probably your writing is probably the funnest part of what we do.
And I'm looking forward to on Friday night.
Yeah.
The new song, which is called
Where We've Always Met.
Yeah, for
the longest time, we just called it a sad song.
It was sad song.
Or a sad thing when we were sending it out to the guys. So they have it recorded.
Sad Thing 2 or something like that.
Yeah,
and
they have it recorded on their iPads or whatever as Sad Thing. It's not necessarily really sad. It's very introspective.
Well, all of our songs, before they have lyrics, we have to have something, because here's this musical idea, Swamp Thing 1, Swamp Thing 2.
Yeah, we don't want to. What was Swamp Thing? Was that Passing Shadow?
All I Wanted to Hear, and
like that.
Yeah. Madness.
Mm-hmm. We think about it just like the artist that probably is never going to be in the Louvre as a painter, but same thing with music these days, because your music, you're not going to get, there are millions of songs. What is it on Spotify? There's a new 200,000 new songs out on
160,000 every day.
Yeah, every day there's 160,000 new songs every day.
You're not going to get fans organically like that. It has to be homegrown, people watch the show or whatever and listen to a song and go, I kind of like that.
Yep.
And then they dive in and they listen to some more and tell their friends. It's going to be that kind of thing. It's because there isn't
grassroots with
there's
people
not much of there's no real music industry. And, record labels, it's all payola at this point again. It's back to where it was in the 70s, where people are getting money to get them onto Spotify, into certain playlists. But,
I'm wondering why
years ago it was $3 million to break a new artist.
Yeah.
But that new
it's
artist,
probably 6 million.
Who knows? But that new artist, say I'm the record company and I hire you, I sign you to my deal, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to promote you. So I'm going to spend $3 million promoting you. you're not going to get a dime until I get that $3 million back.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that until those advances and all the recording time and all the publicity,
People have to be paid. Yeah.
basically the record company is like a bank. They've got the money
right.
to push this thing, and you're hoping and praying that enough people are going to like this, that you're going to be able to recoup your investment.
Right. It'd have been nice to have been in those days of old.
But it was smaller back in those days. There was no home studios,
right?
So whenever I wanted to record, I started making a home studio in the early 90s, but before that, it was a lot of time spent in other studios, and paying a lot of money. So,
well, when you get your $6 million from somewhere, because I get a sense that it's going to happen, we're gonna promo like all of our stuff. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, you get to pick one now, and it won't say anything about salsa, I'm sure.
I
got rid of that one.
This is on both sides.
Oh, this one. Oh, this was from Dave.
We already read that one.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, we did.
No,
we did.
No, that one we've already done. No,
but let's pick a different one. We've already answered that question.
You'll have to ask. You'll have to say whether or not we did it.
We did.
Said, what is the recording process or order used for Shadow Fields?
How about what are the components of a song, Heather?
Oh yes. Well,
what do you mean by components? Are these
of a song? Well, I think that there's specific, like intros and outros, but everyone can create different songs. So I think there are people that can take one song, one melody, and then add just something else to it, and then go back to that one melody again and go out. Like it doesn't have to be all cookie cutter, like specifically. But when we write a song, we think about what's the intro going to be? How do you lead people into the song? How do you keep them interested in it? Doing the verses, and then maybe there's, you don't immediately go to the chorus. Maybe then there's another verse, because you have a story to tell.
That comes down to arrangement.
Exactly. But components of a song, I'm thinking of that kind of thing. What do you think of when you think of components of a song?
Well, it's various things, because a song is all the different instrumentation and the voices.
Sure.
Those are all elements.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The structure of it, verse, chorus, a bridge. If we were in England, we would call it the middle eight.
Oh, the middle eight, darling.
Middle eight.
Yes.
And so you have a bridge and a couple more choruses, and then you're out. There's a standard format. If you listen to most of the songs that are have been famous over the years, you find out there's a certain structure to them, most of them.
Yeah.
And people have just gotten used to that structure.
Sometimes they don't do the bridge. I mean, I think that there's some people that absolutely are like, they despise bridges. They might do like a quick instrumental and they'll leave out. But that whole idea of a bridge is to take you somewhere else. So then you feel something when you come back to the regular melody again of the chorus.
Yeah.
That kind of like really cool zing that you get. You're like, oh, and then you want to hear that melody again because the bridge took you somewhere else.
Right.
It's kind of an enticing kind of thing.
Right.
So but I don't think that there have been times where we don't do a bridge. There have been some songs that we don't do a bridge. There have been some songs where we start the chorus first and then maybe have a verse, and then we'll do, a couple choruses, and then we're out, So there's been some kind of interesting things we've done.
A little bit more free with the arrangements in some way. Sometimes they're pretty straightforward, but sometimes they're a little bit wacky.
So someone says, what if a record company wants to sign you, but then they first require you to push your house and your car and all of your belongings into a mud pit and sink it down so you have a good human interest story? Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but definitely they want you to go through hoops to get you.
Well, we've also noticed that over the years, if somebody has some quirky thing about them, they end up getting more interest in them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a physical issue. Or a mental issue. There's something that
Or a certain look, like it's some
because
gimmick.
they become,
right?
yeah, they become more interesting.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little spammed. But anyway, if we can, I think we have one more time for one more question. I think that was a good one because you and I thought really differently about that one.
Okay. The way I make salsa is...
yeah, really. Let's see here.
We're done with the hat after tonight, guys. So.
Where do you get the inspiration to write music? What inspires you?
Either things that have happened to me or things that I've seen happen.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yep.
So, that's how I come up with ideas. Sometimes it'll be a musical thing.
Mm-hmm.
The best times are when I just have tons of free time and I'll sit around noodling and just trying out ideas, and all of a sudden you just kind of go, oh, I kind of like that little bit. And then it can grow from there.
Mm-hmm. I really think that there's been some cases where recently that other music is inspiring me to write the lyrics of things. So the inspiration could be just a feeling that I get from another song. I had that same thing with Civil Wars. Some of it sets a tone or it sets a visual that then I get the inspiration from that. It's the mood setting. It's almost like there's music to study by. If you go out on Spotify and say, I'm interested to have music to study by, or I want to have music to, to cook Italian, food tonight. Like there's all kinds of playlists for everything, but all those things are not going to inspire you. But there might be one song in that listing which inspires you to dance or inspires you to, to pick up your pace a little bit or whatever. And I think sometimes like having some mood setting music allows to kind of calm your brain a little bit.
Do you ever find movies that watching a movie might inspire you?
What was the one that we did?
Seraphine. Seraphine off of the...
That was pretty cool.
I can't remember which album that was on. Was that on the 4th album?
I think so.
Or was that on the 5th album? I don't know.
But Seraphine is a movie about a French woman who was a painter, and she made her own paints out of clay and colored them in the reds and this kind of stuff that wasn't typical for that day.
And she cleaned houses.
It was a true story too.
She cleaned houses but she was just driven to paint.
Yep.
And that's kind of why I write music. Same kind of thing.
Yeah. So this has been fun. I hope you've enjoyed this. I think we're going to be done with the hat here in just a little bit, but we're looking forward to having some of the guys from the band come in. Do a little Q&A with them.
Maybe next week we could play the new song.
Oh yeah,
just as an acoustic duo thing.
A treat on the sad thing.
Yeah, sad song.
But we do look forward to having those of you who can join us. Mike Hamburg, thanks so much for coming and visiting us. And
we'll have a great time.
Anyone else that would like to pop on over to Hey Nani on Friday night, the 16th. We will be there from 6:30 door and 7:30 to 9. It would be the show. So it's about an hour and a half show. And you can get tickets at the door, but we'd prefer you to get tickets before.
Yeah, well, that way you at least know where you're going to sit.
Yeah.
If it sells out, then it becomes standing room.
Yep.
And
and you can find the tickets at heynani.com. And
that's HEYNONNY.com.
Yes. Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us for this evening, and looking forward to seeing those of you who are going to be in town at the show. And then if not, we will see you next Monday. And if you want to stay tuned on Facebook, and I'll send out some other information about the live.
Yeah, the live stream. We will get something out so you guys will all know, because I know there's people out of town that can't make it in, but you'll be able to see the whole thing go down live.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.
Take care. Bye-bye.